Gallery walls are a great way to personalize your interior. But if you go onto YouTube, a lot of the videos are quite complicated. They make the process a bit more drawn out than it has to be. So in this video, I'm going to show you a really easy way to hang a gallery wall. So keep watching. When you look at a gallery wall, you've got to be almost looking at one big picture. That means everything you hang up has got to work together. That's the trick. Because you don't want something popping out or jarring or not quite going. So when you're looking at a gallery wall, the most important thing to remember is that it all has to go together. So you've got to give yourself the impression that you're looking at one big piece of art. So if you're starting off and you're not too sure, the easiest thing to do is maybe pick a theme. Like if you look at my gallery wall here, it's all my travel images, my travel photography. So it all kind of goes together. They're all colored, it's all, mainly about people. So there's a theme. The next thing you can do, and this is really helpful if you haven't got a theme per se, is to try and use the same frames for your gallery wall. So immediately if you do that, everything looks cohesive. It looks like one big picture. So as you can see here, it's mostly framed with pine wood. And just to change it up a bit, I've sprayed this one gold and I've sprayed the mirror sunglasses gold as well. So that's another thing. Maybe you think about unifying the look with the same frames. Same thing with the mounts. All the mounts here are similar. So then again, your eye is pulled into the gallery wall as a whole, not individual things jumping out and jarring. So that's another thing you can think about, is using the same kind of mounts. If you're framing these kind of images, try and use non-reflective glass. It's more expensive, but it's worth it in the end because you cut the glare. Especially if you live in a country like Kenya where there's a lot of sunlight coming in through the day, you want to minimize the glare so that you can appreciate your artwork. So just sort of bite the bullet and go for non-reflective glass. The next thing you need to consider is the hooks that you use, especially if you're renting, because a lot of landlords don't like you hammering nails into the walls. And it's going to be quite costly to repair them. But with these kind of hooks, they're great because they don't leave much, damage. Even if you pull them out, and it's easy to put a bit of polyfiller and paint, and no one will know that you even hung anything on the wall. So these are always my go-to. And another thing about these is you can sort of hammer them halfway, test to see if the image works. If it doesn't, you can pull it out and rehammer. So don't forget these. What I also like to do is create an element of surprise, so it's not too predictable. That's why I've got these little kiddie sandals. They work really well, but the colors still go with the gallery wall. And I've got the mirror sunglasses. So also think of 3D pieces you can put with your images. That just creates a little bit of energy and a bit of surprise. So it's a really cool thing to do. Okay, so I've talked about unifying your scheme in terms of maybe the color, the subject matter, the way you frame. But then don't be too caught up with this because eclectic gallery walls also work really well. So just having a knack and trying to see what works and what doesn't work. So you're gonna have to experiment. I mean, for example, I could put this picture right here, this image, and it would still go because it's a white frame against a white wall. So it's not actually gonna interrupt the gallery wall too much. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's not exact science. So you're gonna have fun with it and see what goes and what doesn't go. And now, the practical aspects of actually creating your gallery wall. It does help if you have someone who can assist you. And Dominic usually helps me to hang my pictures up. So think about asking a friend or a family member to try and help you out. You can do it yourself, but it's just much easier if you've got someone who can help you out. That's the first thing. Then you're going to look at your wall. Assess the wall that you want to create the gallery images on. I have this light switch here, so I knew that I needed to avoid that. So obviously I looked for a piece that's a bit smaller and I hung it above. Then I put something next to it that went. So that's how I do it. I just go along. I just work with what I have and I go along. I'm not tracing anything out. I'm tracing paper and then sticking the tracing paper and tacking. I'm just doing it sort of more intuitively. So that's one thing I believe in it. Try to be more intuitive. So I've got two pictures hanging up. And I kind of want to break that up a bit. So I've got this old piece of fabric that's, I've had it for years. It's framed from India. And I think that'd be quite nice next to it. Can you see? Because it's kind of pulling in some of the colors and it's just a little bit different. It's adding a bit of contrast, a bit of texture. So I want to put that. So where would I position it? I'd probably put it in between these two, and then try and maintain the same sort of gap. This is how I do it. Then you look at where and this is when Dominic comes in now, because I would hold it up I'd hold the image up like that, where I want it. And then Dominic, would you take a pencil? Yeah. And then mark off where I want the, yeah. And then we turn it off, flip it like this. And then measure where the hook, the thread is, the hanging wire actually, yeah. You see? Then Dominic's marked the spot where the hook, yeah, just a little bit, halfway as we do. Then we put this, can we fix it? Dominic, at the back, yeah. Yeah. And that's the way we work. We just carry on like that. So then the next piece, I'd have to decide, probably now to echo this one, I might use this. And then, so I'd probably want it level. Can you put it up a bit? So it's level here, Dominic? Yeah. And then the same distance. This is how I work. And then maybe put probably that on top. This is the process I use. So you just, seeing what works, what doesn't work. And then, you create, and if you don't like it, you pull out the hook, move it again, try again. Well, you haven't actually nailed it completely into the wall until you're happy with it. So this is what I'm talking about in terms of just being more intuitive about your gallery wall and not tracing and drawing and being very rigid. And here you have it, my finished gallery wall. As you can see, there's obviously still spaces that need filling in, but that's the beauty of gallery walls. They evolve as you go along. They don't have to be finished. So you just, but I've done my main thing, so it doesn't look out of place. It's kind of working as it is, but obviously as I get more images that kind of go, I'd fill them in here. I actually thought of using this painting somewhere, but it just doesn't go. It just doesn't, not feeling it. So I'm not going to use this in this particular space. I'll probably use it somewhere else. So that's the thing I'm talking about in terms of gallery walls. It's about going with the flow, experimenting, seeing what works, what doesn't work, changing things around, even swapping the placement of the images just to see what works. And it's about having fun, and it's not done. You're always going to keep on refining and improving and just making it speak to who you are. So hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments. Have you got a gallery wall? What's your go-to? What's your technique for creating a gallery wall? I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, so please comment, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future content. Please tell your friends, please share. I really do appreciate when you share my videos and you comment. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.